Welcome back. Today we're going to be testing some phone apps, specifically for the iPhone. I don't have an Android. Sorry. We're just going to explore which recording apps out there are the best for making videos. If you didn't see my last video, we go over why this tool is important and how it can help you. But the gist of it being, you can get really versatile with your audio, and you don't need to be right in front of your camera for you to have decent sound. You can also get external devices for your phone, such as other microphones, which probably sound a little better than what's built in, but also give you a little more versatility, like a lapel mic that could be on your shirt. These things don't really help us much if we don't have an application on our phones that can handle this, sound great, and are easy to use. So we're going to be looking at a few apps based on those criteria, mostly ease of use, sound quality. I mean, those are the big ones, right? Reliability goes without saying. So thus far, you've been hearing me on my iPhone 12, just stock basic iPhone 12, but I've been using the Italk app. Now, this is a tried and true for myself. This is what I used to use back in the day, around the 2014-15 era. Never really had any issues with it. Records in great quality. It's easy to export your files, but it is no longer supported. So, can I really recommend this in 2021? Not really. 2022? Especially not. I don't know when it was last supported, but the app looks exactly the same as I remember it. Probably not looking good there. We're going to find some other things to replace this and hopefully work just as good or even better. Little side note, I actually had to download iTunes for this video because iTalk was not able to export any files over 25 megabytes, I believe it was. The only other way is email. I don't think I have the paid version anymore. I had to download iTunes and transfer it manually. I had to go find my charger and plug it into my computer and say, trust this computer, and then do the thing, find it in iTunes, drag it over, import it. Who does this? So definitely don't suggest iTalk, especially in 2021. Way better options. We're back again on voice memos. This is the lossless codec or file type, whatever. Should be the higher quality of the two. In my last video, I showed you how to get there. Well, actually, I didn't. So in order to change the settings, you have to go to the iPhone settings, and then from there, go to the voice memos settings through settings. It's kind of complicated, but you can change it from normal to high quality or lossless or whatever they call it. And it's pretty simple, just to flip that switch. The problem is, in my experience, I had trouble exporting my file when it came time to edit. I don't know if this is a codec thing, and Vegas Pro, my editing software of choice, just doesn't take that file, or if there's something wrong with this. But it did turn out that DaVinci Resolve accepted the file, and I just re-exported it because I didn't feel like figuring out how to do basic things in Resolve, which maybe I should just do anyways, because I do kind of want to move away from Vegas, but that is totally another topic for another day. Here we are on voice memos. It seems to be a little hot, as it tends to be in my experience, just testing it over the last couple of days. So this is how that sounds, and we're going to move on to the next. Turns out we're back on voice memos. I went back, changed my settings into the compressed file format, which is going to be a little less quality, but smaller file size, theoretically. So this changing the settings is actually easier than I thought. If you look up voice memos, it should, underneath the application, have voice memos settings just in the search. That's kind of just how I search for my apps, is swipe down onto the search bar and then type in whatever. It kind of makes it easy for me because I'm used to doing that sort of thing, but you can dig through the settings manually if you want. There's that, and this is the difference between the compressed and the lossless format. Here we go, we're on the Dolby On app. This seems like a great choice because I, for one, and most people I'm sure, recognize the brand Dolby Digital Surround Sound, blah, 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 blah. You know, they just are in the professional audio realm. You know, you'll hear their names or read it everywhere. Basically, you find home theater stuff or surround sound or gaming or headsets or all sorts of stuff. So it's pretty easy to recognize that, and so that's why I picked this one. It looks kind of nice, to be honest with you. I think that sort of thing is important to me. Just kind of shows keeping up on the app. Style is important, I guess, but really it comes down to functionality and how easy it is to use these things. It looks nice, and in my experience, it's been easy just to save the file to my files on iCloud, and then open up iCloud on my Windows computer, transfer it into my editing software there. And you know, if you edit on your phone or your iPad, this is even easier, or on a Mac for that matter, because anything on the iPhone you can just AirDrop. It's that simple. It just ends up in your files, I guess. Like I don't edit on my Apple products, or do I have a Mac? Just sounds easy, and that's like very tempting to make me want to go and try that, but just doesn't fit with my. That's reason why I don't have a Mac. And another wormhole we didn't need to get into. So this has been Dolby On a lossless setting. Okay, we're back on the Dolby On app. We've changed it to the compressed setting, back from lossless. I should also mention I'm not going to be doing any, well, I guess we can play around with the Dolby weird sound stuff. So maybe here's an example of how they enhance it in the app, but it's all just like automatic as far as I know, and there's not really anything intentional. I think it's more for if you're making a song, it sort of like lifts up your vocals a little bit and sounds a little more airy maybe than just normal raw audio. So I don't really know. I don't think that really applies to us as filmmakers, so I guess try it out if you want, but it's not the sound I like to go for. Here we go, we're on our last app of the day. This is called Audio Recorder. Seemed pretty big on the App Store. Had pretty good reviews, I suppose, and just seems like it has some robust controls. It doesn't really seem very intuitive or, like it's smart at all. And then it will just go and tell me it can't record all of a sudden while we're in the middle of recording. So right off the bat, this hasn't given me a very good first impression. And there it goes again, cannot record, stopping in the middle of what could be an important video. If you use this as an external audio device, like audio recorder, and you plug in a better microphone, that could really screw you over when you don't want it to. That's a bad one right there. I can't really recommend that, as no matter what it sounds like. Maybe I should try to download a different one as we're sitting here. We're here with the voice recorder and audio editor app. It's a pretty catchy name. Looks pretty primitive again, as I mentioned. Anyways, I couldn't really find a setting for audio quality. Actually, I looked deep in the settings, couldn't find it. Looks like this is also a light version, the free one. So you might have to pay to get rid of some ads or pop-ups. Doesn't really seem like it adds a lot of features, so I don't think this one is going to be a good recommendation either. So the final verdict for me personally, Dolby On all the way. There's a couple of things here though. Dolby On, you're gonna want to turn on the high quality option in your settings. If you don't, then you might as well use voice memos just because of its ease of use and its like integration with Apple. You also need to make sure you turn off the effects like I showed earlier in that screenshot. Otherwise, you're going to have some funny sounding audio. If you take it down into mono, which I also recommend doing, don't use the stereo setting. If you can, make sure you combine the tracks or just use one or whatever. I don't know which track is the better one because, stereo left and right. And the iPhone's got several microphones on it. I'm guessing they use more than one. That's how they get stereo. Do those things and you'll be well off. And you'll blow voice memos out of the water. Voice memos, in my experience, and for any other Vegas users, the high quality setting is not going to work in Vegas, at least right off the bat. You're going to have to reconvert it or find another way or another app to use instead. So that's my final verdict. I think the Dolby On is the way to go, at least in the apps that I've experienced. And as far as I can tell, there's nothing else really like in the space that is definitely geared towards this type of thing or is any better. So the only other thing I have to say is I don't know if any of these apps really work with external microphones in the phone, as I don't have one. So hopefully in the future I'll be able to test this. I can get my hands on some mics for phone mics for you guys, and I can test those out. That'd be interesting, and make sure they work with the apps I'm suggesting. But yeah, other than that, I hope you guys use these tips that I'm showing you. This has really helped me in the past, and I'm sure it will continue to, especially with GoPro stuff, because GoPros are just not good with sound. GoPro and the phone, perfect combo. You don't need to worry about having a microphone, especially if you're doing anything remotely active or wet. Microphones don't really like moisture. It's probably why the GoPro sounds bad, at least the old ones. I don't have a new one. Oh my God, I'm rambling. That's my 2 cents. So do with it what you will, and I appreciate you for watching, and I will see you next time.